Okay, here we go. Let's see, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Okay, so here we are, The Unapologetic Man, episode 7. I'm Tim Wade with Tim Wade Coaching, and thanks for watching today. So I'm sitting out on the stoop here in Denver, like they do in Brooklyn. Today, the topic is, and my good friend Cam said, could you put titles up that say what the topic is? That would make it easier. So I'm going to do that. I'll even go back and retroactively put ones on the ones that I've already done. But this one I put up, it's called It's Not About You. No, really. Okay. And we've been talking about what are the hallmarks, what are the traits of the unapologetic man, the man who knows who he is, knows where he's going, knows what he wants, and also knows who he'd like to go on that journey with. Another thing that is what you want to try to embrace in order to have a much, much better experience of life is stop taking everything so personally. All right? Stop taking everything so personally. It's amazing how many times we walk around being, disgruntled and upset because of what someone else did or said or acted like, as if everything is about us. And here's the thing. It's almost never about you. I mean, the truth is that most of what happens out there really has very little to do with you. Everyone's in their own head, thinking their own stuff, right? And going through their own little day, right? So the first thing you want to do, and I've got 5 things that will help you stop taking everything so personally, or as writer Mark Manson says in his book, he called the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, which kind of puts it in perspective. That's it. You got to stop caring so much about what everybody else thinks. Okay, so here are the 5. I'm going to go through them one at a time. 5 things. Number 1, you want to question your beliefs. And what I mean by that is most of the time, the reason we feel bad about something that happened to us, something that someone did or said, is because of what we believe about it, what we believe it means about ourselves, what we believe it means about them. It was Albert Ellis, actually back in the 50s, who developed the rational emotive behavioral therapy, also known as the REBT. I'm really not sure why you make an anagram that is not pronounceable. Doesn't really help, but REBT stands for rational emotive behavioral therapy. And basically one of the big tenets of it is that your emotional distress is actually based on your interpretation of the events that happen to you, not the events themselves. That events are by and large neutral. They're not good, bad, right, wrong, or anything, but your interpretation of what they mean, and particularly what they mean to you and about you, are what cause most of the upset in your life. So you really want to question, okay, so if I'm taking this personally and I think that this person insulted me or dissed me in some way, what is it that I'm believing? Like, let's say, you walk into a room and there's someone there and you say hi, and they don't say hi back to you. And immediately you think, well, how rude. Boy, I don't know what they're about, but I guess they're too good to say hi to me. You might have some sort of thought like that, or just how odd, or an odd person. Now, you have no idea what might be going on. Perhaps they didn't hear you. That's probably the number one thing you might want to think. Perhaps they're very, 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 very shy, and they don't like talking to people they don't know. Perhaps in their culture, you don't say hi back to people. It doesn't really matter. The point is you cause yourself unnecessary misery by immediately going to, it's about me. It's because they don't like me and that they're really like snubbing me. Number 2, and this is the juicy one. Stop worrying so much about what other people think of you. Now, you've probably heard that before. And it's easier said than done. I mean, really, I know it is. But, there's people wiser than me have said, what you think about me is none of my business. I've heard that little, bumper sticker phrase. But it really is true, because most of the time, first of all, here's the good news and the bad news. Most people aren't even thinking about you at all. So whatever it is they're doing or saying, again, it's usually not about you. They're not thinking about you. In fact, even when you're talking to people, a lot of people aren't listening, and they're really just thinking of what they're going to say next. So that look on their face that you interpret as they don't like me, they don't like what I'm saying, they don't think I'm humorous, is really a look of, I wonder how I should answer, I wonder what I should say, I wonder how I can look good, going on in their heads. The other thing, of course, you have to finally, if you haven't done it yet, get used to the idea that not everyone is going to like you. That's just the way it is. And for those of us who have, been victims of what we call the nice guy syndrome, we'll be talking more about that in the future. The nice guy syndrome is really a version of people pleasing. And people pleasers go, everyone has to love and like me all the time. Everyone has to. And it's just not going to happen. And then lastly, under this particular point, is in the long run, it's your opinion of you that is the most important. Yeah, it's what you feel about yourself that really is what counts. So if you want to worry about what someone thinks, worry about what you think of you and how you hold yourself. Do you hold yourself in high regard? Do you hold yourself as in terms of being self-loving and self-advocating and all of those things? Because that'll help a lot. Even if someone does something that really is overtly mean or nasty and it's certainly about you, yeah, you can say, that's okay, that's all right, I know who I really am. I read something once that someone in their mind, now that we have this all the comments people can give on Facebook and all that, they just, when someone says something really mean, they just go troll, delete in their heads. You can try that. Number 3 actually comes from my father. This number 3 is don't believe your reviews. My father, for those of you who don't know, was a very successful novelist for his entire life. And when I was young, he told me, he said, Tim, you gotta never believe the reviews. So when they review your stuff, you just don't even read it. Don't believe them. And I thought he meant the bad reviews. But then he clarified, he said, now I'm talking about all the reviews, because the good reviews and the bad reviews, neither of them are more valid than the other. Of course, we'd like to think that the good reviews are all correct and the bad reviews are all wrong. But the truth is they're all just opinions. So ignore your reviews. Number 4 is be too busy to care. That's a big one too. Because, when I work with my clients, one of the first things we work on is getting a life. And it's amazing how often, especially inside of a relationship, that we give up the things that we used to do that made us interesting, that our partner actually was attracted to and fell in love with. And then all of a sudden, we let go of our friends, we let go of our hobbies, we let go of our interests, and we become kind of dull. So a good way to not be worried about what other people are thinking about you or saying about you and not caring about that stuff is to be in the game. I mean, you can't be in the game and worry about what the people in the stands are saying about you at the same time. As soon as you go there, you're out of the game, and somebody's going to tackle you. Last but not least is number 5 on the hit parade here, and it's don't drink the poison. This comes from actually the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the second agreement, for those of you who've read it, you'll recognize this, is don't take anything personally. And he basically says don't take anything personally. He's a real smart guy. So I'm going to read a quote. He says, when people have, bad opinions of you or whatever, he says what they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. So it's sort of like, the thing when I said, consider and question your beliefs. Same thing's going on for everyone. Everyone is interpreting things. They're in their own heads and then responding based on that interpretation. So when you know that about yourself, so you're not like exempt, but everyone else is doing the same thing, you could think, whatever it is they're saying is not based on some sort of objective reality. It's based on what they think it means, or what they think I said, or what they think happened. I mean, have you ever had a time when you got upset about something that you think somebody did or said, and you find out later that they didn't actually do or say that thing? I mean, it's like, ooh, oops. And depending if you really hit the roof, I'll tell you, that can be very embarrassing. It's like, that's not what they said at all. No. It's like, oh, sorry, never mind. I'm old enough to remember Emily Latella, so for those of you who are as old as I am. Anyway, so that's the 5 things. So one more time, let's go through them. They are, I'm going to read them off here. Question your beliefs. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. Don't be too busy to care. Don't believe your reviews, and don't drink the poison. I don't know if that was the exact order I did them, but that's what they were. Once again, question your beliefs. Stop worrying so much about what others are thinking about you. Don't believe your reviews. Thanks, Dad. Be too busy to care, and don't drink the poison. All right. So, and once you start doing that, boy, you'll find that you have a lot more energy and bandwidth to do other really interesting and awesome things in your life. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.